Alright, I'm gonna get this recording going for YouTube. I started a little late. So this is a speed build of my Lego World map, the second part of it. Um, I've already finished one of the 5 plates for the next set, but I've got 34 more, including the one we're on right now. So, YouTube, you'll get to see the rest of this being built. And at the end, I will show off what it looks like completed. This was just... My fingers are still a little sensitive. So this is Central North America. And that mattered to me because this actually shows where I live, the general area. Very general because this map is very large. You can see here I have just a large section of white to fill in real quick. So this video is at 4 times the speed. I was going to try and see if I could get my webcam to stop clipping over the video, but the way I have this laid out, it doesn't work that well. So there was me pointing out that that's the general area of the United States where I'm in. And we move on to the next square. Another interesting thing that I'm probably going to try and do soon. I picked up today a couple of boxes of booster packs of a trading card game. And I figured maybe I could do a pack opening stream where just an entire stream of opening up booster packs and showing off the cards I get. Since I have this camera set up to show my hands. Oh, there's me fixing a mistake. Yep, the biggest of nerds. I'm trying to think of what part this is. I believe this is like the... Oh gosh. The tail end of Mexico. Central America. I feel like that's not right though. This may be because I feel like there's not enough white because it should be picking up on. Oh, it is picking up on South America. It's just very on the far side. So putting together each of these individual plates, the water sections always just seemed like a random mix and mash of colors until it finally, like when it was all together, it made sense. It looked right. But like each individual square, I was just looking at it like, what even is this? I was also doing a lot of just like filling in as I was going of like, these colors are next to each other and I'll do these colors. Later on, you'll see me swap over to basically doing all the colors in order by numbers. So I think this square is going to be entirely colored pieces, no white, because it's just ocean. And this will be one of, if not the last, full ocean square that I ended up doing. And for this one, I just went down from top to bottom. I'm interested to see the transition between when one video ended and another started. Because like I recorded all of these at different times. I did them in sets of fives. So when this one ends, which it'll be after the next square after this, it might be a bit of a hard jump cut. Um, the other thing is, at some point, I put up video on my monitor, so you'll notice like flickering colors and stuff on the white bins and on the pieces, but it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so I'm about 2/3 of the way done with this square now. See, and this just looks like a hot mess of colors. Alright, so finishing up this tile. Alright, and on to the last tile for this set of 5. It looks like I left out an orange dot there. I probably knew I was going to need it for something soon. Yeah. There, I used it. The orange dots were like really far tucked away, like under a lip in my desk. So I tend to like reach and grab a bunch of them and then try and assemble all of them at once. So now you can see here where I just got a whole bunch of the blues, and I was just working on doing all of those at once instead of going down the line doing all the colors just row by row. And I found that this actually worked a little faster. It did take a little bit more like mental thinking, and like I had to kind of figure out where all the pieces went. But I also think this looks more interesting as you're going, instead of it just being like a random assortment of colors and then a half a square of black. Now it was like, oh, here's all the blues. Now we're going into the light blues. So now I've moved into light greens. Yeah, once I started doing it by color, I don't think I ever went back to not. It just made so much more sense. It made it run so much more smoothly. Um the whole process just I felt got better once I started doing this. And occasionally like I would miss one of a color, especially when I got to like the eights, which that's what I'm on here now is I believe the eights. My color bar is hidden off to the side a little. You can only see like one, two, three, four, five. Um, oh, there's I dropped a piece. You'll see me pick up and like adjust the square. That's usually me trying to get like dog hair or something, because my dogs shed so much. So I had to constantly just try and like blow or pick dog hair off of it. Alright, this is me putting in, I believe, some sevens, the tan colors. And then after this, I think it's almost all white. Yeah, there we go. I saved white for last because white was Antarctica. As every landmass, really, but for this square, it's Antarctica. Alright, so I will assemble all the 5 squares together now. And I kind of try and show off what it all looks like. I get better at doing that in some of the later videos. It's not just like a quick flash by. Like I tried to show it off. I couldn't figure out how I wanted to do it. So I just kind of showed it off in various different angles. Okay, so there's the hard cut. This is now the second set. My pants changed. That's how you know it's different. Those are my pajama pants. Okay, so here I went back to doing it, I guess, by the row. OBS is being weird and giving me some dropped frames there. Not like this is anything that's too exciting, but a few dropped frames is missing a few pieces put on. I'm so glad that I swapped out of doing it this way. There I just put in all the twos. The twos are going to be the dark blues. They're really hard to see in this, because against the black, they just blend right in. I guess the rest of this is white. This is like Nova Scotia, Upper Canada areas. Well, I say upper, it's the far east Canada areas. So this is the first of the middle section. It divides this into the North America, Europe and Africa, and then Asia's and Australia. God, this music is wacky. Yeah, so this was just me back to putting in the pieces by sections and filling it in however I felt like at the time. There, I'm back to doing white again. Which, if I'm not mistaken, I think a lot of the rest of this year is white because it's, like I said, it's a pretty big chunk. So now you're starting to see some of the flashing from the show I was watching. There, I just dumped a bunch of the white pieces onto the set itself so that I could just grab them and fill it in. Alright, so there's another one done. So this will be the far east coast of North America. I think this covers all the way down from like New York all the way to Florida, which most of Florida was already in one of the other plates. Alright, so here I'm back to doing it kind of by color again. So yeah, I went back to doing all the light blues here after I'd already done all the dark blues. Hey, Poison Skittles, thanks for the follow. I'm playing my speed build video of the world map to do the rest of it. I did the first section live, and now I'm finishing it up. But instead of doing it 13 hours worth, because that's how much time it took me to actually build this, I sped it up 4 times. It's going to take about 2.5 hours to get through this, which we're already 30 minutes in, 38 minutes in. And while we're watching, we're listening to KK Slider music from Animal Crossing. Creepy KK Slider music. So I actually got in the Animal Crossing soundtrack today, and every single track name was not in English. A lot of the track names were like 1 a.m., rainy weather, 2 a.m., rainy weather, 3 a.m., rainy weather. For every hour of the day, because the music is set by the hour. And it has rainy weather, fair weather, and snowy weather. And then there's like holiday music, there's like radio broadcasts. that all those change due on weather or time. And then it also came with the KK collection, which was all of KK Slider's music. And I had to individually add album art and retitle all of those songs. And I know the KK one was like 95 tracks. The Animal Crossing one was like 150 or so. It was frustrating. Alright, so that's the rest of North America done. This next square should be going into the top of South America and some of the island areas. Yeah, it's really relaxing music at the very least, but I could see where it's tough to get into. Oh my gosh. It's like just watching me put in all these white pieces again is making my fingertips hurt. Like I had trouble doing things the next day after I did this. So this is a recorded video of me assembling this at 4 times the speed. This build took me about 13 to 14 hours, but I did one stream of it live. It took 2.5 hours to do 5 of 40 squares. So I just recorded me doing the other 35 and sped it up 4 times speed. It's going to be about 2.5 hours long, which, like I said, we're 40 minutes into it. But thanks for stopping by, Jarwood. It's it's fascinating to watch, and the finished product looks so good. Um, like I, even as I was assembling it, I was like, this doesn't look great. And you notice like a lot of the like wonky shapes of it. Like North America's not shaped well. They struggled a little bit with that. And once it's assembled, you're just like, I don't even care. It looks so good. But yeah, I've done a lot of Lego sets in my life. This was easily the longest one I've ever done. And there were points where I had to stop and be like, I just can't do another. I don't want to do more right now. But I did force myself to do it in sets of 5 at a time, uh, which was 7 videos to record. Each video was like an hour and a half long. And again, like, sorry about like the kind of flashing going on the screen. I was watching videos online, and it didn't look bad in normal speed, but sped up 4 times, it kind of flashes a lot. Alright, so we're getting close to the finish here of this square, which there's 2 more after this to end this set of 5. I didn't show it off in this video. This is actually a new line that they've relatively recently started that's called Lego Art. It's all just like a flat surface piece with a whole bunch of colored flat round circles that makes like an art piece. I was saying they've done some before that were like the Andy Warhol paintings of Marilyn Monroe and the Beatles. They've done like some Star Wars ones where you can do like Darth Vader. Um, they've done, I want to say, some Iron Man ones. They've done uh, the Harry Potter house crests, which that's one that I think I would pick up and do. The downside to a lot of those ones I just named, though, is they give you enough for one of four different versions, and they would want you to buy four sets of it to make the complete thing. And they're like $150. Four sets of it is ridiculous. This map was $250, but you only need the one. This song that's playing right now is the Todokeke song. It's actually interesting. The guy that wrote all of the music for Animal Crossing hides this song in every video game he does the music for. I know it's in Animal Crossing, it's in The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. That there's just like certain things you have to do. Oh gosh, I know there's another game that it's in that you have to like wait on the start screen or like the character select screen for a while and then it'll play. In Link's Awakening, you have to go into a house and wait for like 5 minutes and then it'll play. Random music video game trivia. Alright, so I think that finished all the white pieces. Now I'm going to go in and put in all the dark blue. You can't see the dark blue, like, at all. Oh, man, I had a Connect set that was... Oh, gosh, it was, like, 7 foot tall, which even today, I'm not close to 7 foot. So, like, I had to assemble it in sections and then, like, reach up and assemble the, like, I add the top part on. But it was like a space training, like, large building that had a motor at the bottom that as you built onto it, it would make all the sections move. Hey there, Phelan. Phelan, I know you were having trouble hearing the music in the last stream. I bumped up the volume for the music this time, so you should be able to hear it a little better. If it's still too quiet, I can bump it up a little bit more. So this is the bottom half of South America now. That's almost done. Hey, Corey, welcome back to catch the end of this. Well, not the end, I guess. It's the beginning of the end. So, for Phelan and Corey who just hopped in, this would have taken, like, another 7 2-hour streams to finish. So I just recorded myself building it, and I'm playing it back at 4 times the speed. But I'm finishing up. This will be the 10th square. And we're about an hour in. But yeah, building this, oh, thanks for following, Jarwood. Building this absolutely, like, I was super in a mood for Legos. I actually had the idea of, my family hosted a foreign exchange student from Finland, and she was returning home around the time this came out. And so I bought it. It actually showed up in my house the day we were taking her to the airport. So I told her that I would record this as I streamed it to put up on YouTube so she could watch it. And I will be putting markers on the map, which I already have the markers there, for a few of my friends in the different areas they live in. I've got some friends in Georgia, which unfortunately I can't mark them individually. One mark takes up about all of Georgia, and the foreign exchange student in Finland, um, she has a marker for her that takes up about half of Finland. And then I have a marker for myself as well, which in an earlier section of this, I actually did most of North America, and I was able to point out whereabouts in North America I'm located. So yeah, I think this is back to now doing it by color and not by row. When I first started, I was just assembling from top down, putting in the colors as it called for them, and then eventually I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start doing every color by the number. Um, so when it was calling for like the color 5, which I know that sounds weird to say the color 5. So the instruction manual numbers each color and then just basically shows you the circles with the numbers in them to know where to put everything. So I would go through and I would do the ones, which are all the land pieces, the white. Then the twos were like dark blues that always go to the side of the land. Then threes were light blue, fours were dark blue, fives were dark green, 6 was light green, 7 was like a tan, uh, 8 was yellow, 9 was orange, 10 was pink. And so I just started going in number order, which I think you can see here I'm on 9s now. And then, yeah, putting in a few more 9s, and then I think I got a couple of 10s on this one, and it finishes it up. I'm trying to make sure I have all them in. Okay, so then now, yeah, I missed some of the other colors. That's the downside, is I missed some colors a few times, and I had to go back and do it. Oh, that was it. That's finished. Was that it for Antarctica as well? Okay, so that's all 5 pieces done for this section. So now I connected them, and I just kind of show it all off, and now we move on to the next set of 5. I get better at showing it off, definitely. I start doing this thing where like I like pan it in front of the camera slowly, because at first I didn't know what I was gonna do with this. I didn't know that I was gonna speed it up. Um, so like later you'll see me actually like stopping to showcase things for a little longer, knowing it was going to be sped up. Here you can actually see the number graph over off on the side now. Because like I said, I did want to include that because I wanted people to be able to see what the colored numbers were. I really do think assembling it by color, instead of by like top down row, actually looks better, because you get to see it slowly fill in all over, and it just kind of ends to a bit more satisfying of a completion. So this is going to be, I think, the rest of Nova Scotia, as well as the top of Europe is absolutely easier to do it by color. Because I could just pull out a whole bunch of the color and I would get a whole bunch done. And then I could move on to the next color. If I missed one, it was just as easy as grabbing one and putting it in instead of like looking at the lines and going, okay, this was 5 6 7 7 6 5. Did I do that right? Yes, okay. I tried to be very conscious too of like where everything was situated in my camera view. Later on, which I say later, it's gonna be much later. It's I think in the last row, there's like a weird design in the water that I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it almost looks like it's like off the coast of Japan, and it looks like Japanese text. Which this was not made by someone who is Japanese, so it's not like they snuck an Easter egg into it. This was just this was made by I want to say um oh gosh, I want to say it was either Polish or German. There was an instruction manual. In the instruction manual, it told you like little bits about the person who created it, as well as some other things. So, knowing that the guy that did the music that we're listening to right now is the same guy that did the music for Link's Awakening, uh, I absolutely can hear some things in his musical styling. Alright, so this should be the end of this square here, coming up soon. Yep, showcase that off. And move on to the next one. Oh man, there was a part in uh like Russia, China, Asia area that was the square was almost entirely white and it murdered my fingers. It's only the white pieces that were rough, and it's just because like each of them has the stud top of a typical Lego piece. Um and on top of that, it has like the word Lego printed on it, so they're not even smooth. It's kind of coarse. It's rough on the fingers, putting in thousands of these little white pieces. And I did all of this in like a matter of like 2 days. All right, so here we're getting down to this was like Spain and the lower UK, and then the top part of Africa. So like the bottom corner, which is the top corner of this that you're seeing, but it's the bottom corner of the square, is Africa. Oh, nice. That's good. I know you've been working on that drawing for a couple of days now, Phelan. Yeah, you saw me there kind of like pause for a second. I had to double check and make sure that I had the pieces in the right place. So it's gonna move pretty fast. You will see me make a few mistakes here and there, but when I did make mistakes, it actually gave me like a tiny little Lego crowbar that I could use to pop the pieces out. So here I'm showing off this one. I set it aside, get to the next brick, put in the connector pieces. So the only part of this you guys aren't going to get to see is there's a white frame that I had to assemble, as well as some like backing support and the wall hangers. Um, I assembled those on a large surface away from my computer because this thing was quite large by the time I got to the end of it. So here I did all the ones and the twos, and now I'm moving on to the threes, which there was only, I think, like one two piece on this. There may be some tucked away there off the side now that I'm looking at it. The two pieces are like a dark blue, like a deep navy, and it's really hard to see them. But you can see, like, now I'm working on the threes. Oh, I actually have the little crowbar set out, so like you can actually see the little crowbar right now. Um, it's a super handy little tool for these little tiles. Just being able to like get in there and pop it off was super helpful when I made mistakes. All right, so now I'm on to the fours, the dark blues, which I know there's a navy, and I keep saying dark blue. So this is the fives, the dark greens. I guess just regular green, because the six is light green. There we go into the six. I was surprised at how many pieces were left over at the end of it. But they intend for you to be able to customize the water area. You could do designs on it. You could do whatever. They have a picture with like like a almost like a drawn octopus in the water. There's like a section of it that looks like a Rubik's cube. It's all very interestingly designed, but they gave you tons of extra pieces so that you could do that. And so I was thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna come down to the wire. It's gonna be great doing the last piece and getting to see the last couple of pieces for a color go into place. But I didn't run out of any color, which is fine. That's great. But it caught me off guard. All right, so there's kind of like the overhang of Africa. So now we're moving on to the fourth one, which this one's going to be mostly water. Here. Okay. Come on. My dog has decided to come visit into my room, and I'm trying to get her attention. Come here. You want to come see me? She doesn't. She doesn't like being held. She just doesn't want to come hang out with me right now. Oh, very nice, Phelan. That's looking really good. Yeah, cats are very much more like always wanting to be in the center of attention. This dog just wants to lay on my bed and kind of get away from the world for a bit. That's true. Sometimes cats absolutely don't want anything to do with people or other animals or themselves. Watching a cat disassociate from itself is the like most hilarious thing because they just kind of just go exist outside of their bodies, and it's just like, where are you right now, cat? uh Gosh, what was it? Not the most recent weekend that we just passed, but the weekend before that, I was house sitting for my sister, and she has two cats and two dogs, and they were all pretty well behaved for the time I was there, but one of the cats went into heat the first night I was there, and so I had to put up with her meowing like crazy the entire time and just being a nuisance. It was awful. I don't know how people put up with that. Yeah, I thought hers were too, but apparently this one was not, and boy, it had a time. Gosh, I feel like I've been watching this and it's like, oh, this is going so slow. There's no way that this is gonna be done in the 2 hours that like 2.5 hours I said it would. But like, we're an hour, almost an hour and 10 minutes in, and this is plate four of my third of 7 sets. So I'm so glad that I took the time to actually go and put the individual KK Slider album art for every song on here, because like as this is showing up, it's showing each individual song's album art. But yeah, we're getting close to being halfway done. This will end up the third row. And so during the third tile, the third square of the next set of 5 is the halfway point. What is that? That's got to be the tip of Africa? Or an island? Like, I'm looking at, like, the one white piece way up at the top there. It's either got to be the southernmost tip of Africa, or it's, like, just an island out in the middle of the ocean, which I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking it is, in fact, just an island in the middle of the ocean. Okay, yeah, I see it now. I was like, I can't even see where it would be on the map. I do see it now. It is just a random white speck in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, this was a fascinating build. For anyone who's a big fan of Legos, I could not recommend this set enough. That said, I've also done some other Lego sets that I feel are just as neat. I might actually go get some and like show them off. Just because like I'm not doing anything here. This is all pre-recorded video. So, I'm gonna go grab a few. I'll be right back, and we'll see some of the other cool Lego sets I've built. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with something small but neat here. This is a like Lego bonsai tree that I've made. That's just like a small little tree. It doesn't. This is like just a little stand that came with it. Um, Try and get it closer so you can see. It's very detailed. It's a little dusty. I've had it sitting on a counter and I haven't dusted it in a while. But it's got like little pieces as like little bricks that are just loose here. And then the leaves are cherry blossom leaves. They're pink. But you can actually swap it out. It came with a set of green leaves to make it look like a bit like a more standardized traditional bonsai tree that you see. Okay. Next after that, I have the Taj Mahal. This one's tough to see because it's white, but it is just straight up the Taj Mahal. Full 3D. It says on it, is this not the front? This is the front, yeah. It does say on it, Taj Mahal somewhere. Doesn't it? Oh, there it is. Taj Mahal. In addition, the top comes off. You can see inside it. This is another, like, this one is part of their locations sets, which they usually do, like, skyline stuff, but they've done a few full building ones like this. So, the next set I'm going to show off is kind of large. I had to drive all the way across, like, 4 states to find this set. I dragged 2 of my friends with me to, like, 3 different malls, because they actually lived out in the area where it was. So I drove out there to them, picked them up. We went to, like, 3 different malls to try and find this set, and when I did find it, I was ecstatic. I was over the moon. No, I'm gonna show off a different one before that. Okay, so not the one that I'm talking about. I ended up I bought it, and then my parents were like, "We're gonna pay you for that, and then you don't get it till Christmas because we need a Christmas present for you." And so I bought it and knew that I had it and had to wait like 6 months to put it together. But before that, another Christmas present that my parents got me one year, because it was on sale for Black Friday, I think. Oh gosh, you're big. The Lego Voltron. And this guy is big, beefy. He's fully posable. Like, his arms and legs move. He actually can separate into the 5 individual lions that make up the Voltron robot as well. Like, to give you an example, which piece do I want to take off here? I'm trying to think of, like, what piece would be the easiest to take off and redo. I could do his leg. Just prop him up against me. So yeah, like, I've popped his leg off, and then, like, this just rotates in. It should. There we go. So it's not wanting to stick. That rotates in. The legs come down. And his tail pops out. And ta-da! Now it's like one of the individual 5 wolves. Or lions. To me, this whole thing was just, like, so incredibly detailed. And that, to me, makes a world of difference in a Lego set, is that kind of detail to it. Okay. Let me see if I can get this now back. Alright, so I'm going to go put this guy back, and then I'll show you off the big one, the one that I'm most impressed with. So, this next one gets shown off in 3 parts. Two of the parts are going to look exactly the same, but it's just kind of interesting. This keeps popping out, but that's fine. I have a Lego Nintendo Entertainment System, complete with controller. Like, it's attached to a cord and everything. It opens up. There we go. There's a game in it. Super Mario Brothers. Classic. Building this had some interesting things that, like, you would never know about. So, like, for example, if you take off this side piece here, you'll see the underworld of stage 1 of no, it's the end of stage 2 of Mario, where you get the secret warp pipe area. That, like, that's just hidden inside of this. You would never see it if you didn't know it was there. Interestingly enough, with that Nintendo system came a TV that has a crank on the side that when you crank it, it moves the picture and moves Mario along the course of the level. So, like, that's just really neat. Let me see if I can... There we go. So, I went out and I bought the Lego Mario, which I can set on this, and you can hear it's now playing. I don't know if you guys can hear it very well, but it's playing the Super Mario Brothers music while this goes through the level. Oh no. But it actually will, like, play noise as it goes through the level. It's so kind of corny, cheesy, but it is my favorite thing. The worst thing about this is, like, it's kind of tough to see because of the light, but, like, Mario is animated. His eyes blink and stuff. And when you turn him off, he closes his eyes, and then his eyes turn off. And this is, like, nightmare fuel. Like, that just hollow-eyed Mario is creepy. But yes, that is my favorite Lego set I've ever made. I love the detail in it. It has, like, a product description that tells you, like, the information about the voltage for the TV and everything. It's got all the plugins that you would need for, like, an actual TV. It's insanely detailed. But this was easily, hands down, my favorite Lego set I've ever built. Was the Nintendo Entertainment System with TV. Alright. Alright. So now that I've shown off some of my favorite Lego sets I've built, let's see where we are on this. We should be getting near the halfway point of this now. All right, so trying to look and see where this is. I think this is the second one now of the. Yeah, that's the sec. Oh no, that would have been the third piece of the last one. So that's the halfway point. So there, we've officially made it halfway through this speed build of the rest of the world map. Which we're an hour and 25 minutes in. Honestly, I think this only has like another hour or so to go. So I think the second half of this, I actually got faster with it. So this is the southern tip of Africa here. And Madagascar. Funny movie. Oh, the first one's funny. I don't know that I've seen all the other Madagascars. And then they had the spin-off with like the penguins. Oh, there was a mistake. I love that that piece just ceased to exist because of the sped up 4 times speed. Like when I'd pop it off, it would go flying, and I thought like, oh, you'll be able to see that in the video, and I forgot. Sped up 4 times, I just go in there with the thing and go like, and it's just gone. Which that's kind of great, you know. Oh, I must have. It must have fell into the floor, and I had to go fish it out. So there was messing up another piece. All right, so now like this is by this point I've pretty much dedicated myself to doing it by numbers. So like I did all the ones, the twos, the threes, and now I'm working on the fours. Yeah, I think the only other like large scale Lego sets that I've really wanted to build, um, there's the Mos Eisley Cantina from Star Wars. That's a large set and it's extremely hard to come by. Um, that it's just neat. It's the like little desert bar where Luke and Old Man Obi-Wan go in episode 4 to meet Han Solo. It's just it's so well designed of a little like fully 3D like actual fully realized, not just like a cutaway like they do most of their buildings now, or just like it's a front facade and then the back is like nothing. There's a Hogwarts one that's like a very small, kind of like the Taj Mahal, but it's Hogwarts. Um, that one I would love to do. It's just expensive. It's like $400 or $500, something like that. Um, there's a Disney World castle, like the castle from Disney World, which is Cinderella's castle. But that one, I'm just a fan of Disney World. I would love to build that just for that. But those are some of like the larger Lego sets. There's not a lot of smaller ones that I've thought, oh, I would love to build that. Alright, so this is the Antarctica for set 4. So after this, we only have three more rows of 5 to go. And then that ends the final of the world map. Which, and even then, I say that this is like 2.5 hours, but I'm pretty sure I made the last 5 minutes of it just a still image picture of the completed map, so that I could have time to cool down and end my stream. So it's like an hour and 25 minutes, which means we have less than an hour remaining. I honestly am surprised by this. I know how long this took because I did it. It took so long. This is just going by so fast. It makes it seem like it just didn't take that long. Also, I tried to kind of cover up the white areas in the bins, as I start running low. Because the light green, you can see, we're already starting to see the bottom. It's just one of those things where it's I started running low on some pieces. But we don't see much more. I mean, we see a decent amount more light green, honestly. I think light green was the set I got the lowest on. With maybe light blue or dark blue. Maybe I think dark blue was the other one that I got pretty low on. Surprisingly, it wasn't white. So I think with this, we may have missed 2, 3. No, I think it's in the next set. The next set of 5, I think, has the square that's almost entirely white that killed my fingers. Alright, so that's the end of set 4 now. So now I'm going to assemble all 5 pieces of it. And here you see I did a showcase where I kind of rotated it to show the full bar. So now we're going into set 5 of 7. Put in the connector pegs. And get to the colors. I start with the white because they were the roughest on my fingers. By this point, my fingers were starting to hurt. I also started to get weird cramps, almost like carpal tunnel, from reaching and grabbing pieces and holding just in a claw position, holding pieces in my fingers. Honestly, I would tell you, if you're gonna do this, if any of you want to build this set, take time. Do it in small bits over a period of time. Make it last a week. Make it last longer than a week. I did mine in 3 days, and it was rough on my fingers. The other thing you could do is you could have people help you with it. But you can get the instructions online. You get digital copies of it. So you could essentially have multiple people doing separate squares at a time. So this is the top of Russia, I believe. Which we would have missed Finland. which is where my foreign exchange student was from, would have been in the last set of 5, while I was getting the Lego sets to show you guys. Alright, so there was all the dark blue, so now we're moving into the light, or the navy blue, so now we're moving into the light blue. So here I started doing some dark greens. I guess there was only one dark green, and I immediately moved to the light greens. Whew. But this was definitely... It was definitely just a long build. I keep looking over because I have a slightly bigger picture of the world map up over to my side. So I'm like looking at it to kind of get an idea of like what section of it I'm building. Alright, so there's that first section done. So like you're seeing a bit more now of the white of the bin, which I just used food prep bins, just like little containers for food prep. That's like, oh yeah, you could put your one main entree in this and 2 side entrees, which I just had smaller colors in them. So let me try to see if I can remember this. I had in a farthest one that you can't see off camera, I had the 3, the light blue, the 9, and the 2. The 9 and the 2 were in small bins, the 3 was in a large bin. Then I have 6, 7, and 10, and then 4, 5, and 8. It sounds like it was like weird. It didn't line up, and none of the numbers were like matching connected, but it worked out well. Okay, so this is the one, that little bitty corner, and there's like 2 blue spots in the middle of this, were the only color pieces that weren't the white pegs, and the rest of this massive square is just white. I hated it. It was awful. So let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 non-white squares on a 16 by 16 grid. So 256, 248 of them were white. So that one square has 248 white dots on it. Oh, there may be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 247 white dots on it. Quick mental math there. I tried to kind of build in a square, like just like slowly enclose it on itself. So here, like I was doing a side, now I'm doing the, I guess I'm doing more of the side. Um, I want to say at some point I started going from the top down. But I wanted to cover up the, I wanted to cover up the blue pieces that were in the center there. So here now I should, yeah, now I should start going from the top down. Nope, now I went to the bottom. Alright, so now the bottoms were longer than the top. Now it's a perfect square. I'll go down the side again. Now I do the top. Do the side again. Do the top. Now it's a 3x3. 2x3. 1x1. You see me kind of just, kind of got angry with it. And I was just like, ah. But that was the hardest, I say hardest, the most taxing of all of the squares that I had to do. Alright, so this had very few white on it, which was surprising after that last square. But it just, where it happened to cut off was, like, right at the coastline. So here I'm already at the fours for this one. Which the next one has a large area of red from what I'm seeing. So that'll be interesting to watch as it just kind of comes together. I do remember building that one because it was very interesting. It like splits the top and the bottom with blue and blue on the top and bottom going into red in the middle, which just leaves this very large like trench. The colors are supposed to be ocean depths. And I don't remember if it's supposed to be brighter colors or shallower or deeper. I think the brighter colors are shallower because it seems like it's bright around the coasts. I don't know. It's weird. But it looks good. Like, in the end, it looks good. Oh, man. I don't think I could tell you I remember doing a single square of this. Like, I know I did them, but, like, none of it stood out as memorable. Whereas, like, assembling, like I said, the NES, it had a section that, if you, as you're building it, you're like, oh, this is the first underground level. Like, this is the warp zone. It's so neat. you cover it up immediately, and the only way you know it's there is if you built it. But like this had nothing. I know that there were tiles and that I had to do colors. Like I said, I remember the next one because it specifically was blue to red to blue, and that was memorable. I remember the one that was all white because that was memorable. But like these ones, they just aren't. Yeah, it's the main theme to Animal Crossing. Good thing I'm not trying to make any money off of this on YouTube because this won't. Alright, so there's that one done. This should be the fourth one for this row now. Bum, 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 bum. This kind of makes me want to play Animal Crossing again. I haven't touched my game in a while. My my little island's probably covered in weeds and ugh. I need to go take care of that, but I don't want to. Was this section not the one I thought it was? It should have been. That should have been, I thought, mostly blue. Or not mostly, mostly like oranges and reds. Hmm. Oh, you know what? I guess it's gonna be here in the middle. Hmm. I guess I don't remember that one as well as I thought. Yeah, you can see we're starting to get real low on those light green pieces. More and more of the bottom of that bin is being shown. Alright, so we're getting close to finishing up this one. I'm putting in the nines on it right now. Yeah, there's the nines, and then now I'm going to be putting in the tens. And there we go. Alright, so this will be the 5th one for this row. And then we've just got 2 more rows left. So these ones were always very similar because Antarctica was just like a white bar at the bottom. So like the last one I always knew like, oh, I'm going to be putting in a lot of white at the bottom. Oh, there went a white piece trying to escape from me. You know what? I say I don't remember doing any of these. I do remember doing this one. Specifically, like, I did 4, 5, 4, and then I kind of built up in a line around to know that I would get the 2 above it, and then I just filled in the rest. Like, I do remember doing that section of Antarctica. But again, these are where I stopped my videos, so, like, this will be the end of video 5, and at each of these, I was like, I need a break, I need to get food or something. Some kind of break. Which I believe you could see I'm back in jeans now and out of pajamas. This was like the next day. Right, so here we're doing the 3s. Alright, so now we've moved into the 4s. Oh, I had to get that piece off. So now comes the 5s. I always felt like there weren't that many 5s, and I ended up with a lot of those dark green pieces left over. So now we've moved on to the 6s. Which will have a bit of orange up there at the top. So here's the 7s that I'm putting in. Alright, finish those. Now I'm on to the 8s. Oh, I forgot a 6 and a 5, I think. And there's some 9s, and finish it off with some 10s. There's the last one. So now I assemble all of these. Do my slow pan across. And we move on to the 7th of 8. The 6th of 7 for this video. The 7th of 8 total. So in this one, we will get to see, I think, all the way to like the Asiatic islands. So like Japan, we'll definitely see China, Korea, and most, if not all of, most of Australia. Definitely not all of Australia. All right, so we're making good progress here. I don't think there were any, if many, fives for this one, so I'm already on the sixes. Now I'm already on the sevens. There I did the nines before the eights. Now I'm coming back and doing the eights. Alright, so there's the first one down. And then I think I realized that I put the pegs on for that first one wrong. And I had to go swap them. But I go ahead and just get right started into this one. I like how looking at like certain things, like the two blank spots where I didn't put white, if I look on the bigger picture of the world map, the picture that's underneath my webcam photo right now, or webcam image right now, you can actually see that little gap noticeable enough to say like, oh yeah, that's exactly where I am right now. I'm doing that chunk, that square. Which this is another one that had a lot of white in it. But the bottom corner was a lot of not white, which made it better than the one in the last round, the last set of 5. So here you can see I've kind of built the outline of what's going to get filled in with white. Which that was another thing that I tried to do, is I tried to do the outlines because it helped me kind of get an idea. Um, the lines to the farthest side, where it's just like a single line, that's Japan. So we've already hit the coast now of that area out there. The Asian islands. Alright, and I believe that should do it for the white. So now we go in with the dark blue. About a coastline on this one. And because it's only on the western sides of any landmass that we put the dark blue, we had a lot of dark blue on this one. But we didn't have many of the other colors because a lot of this was white. So alright, so here we're already on the 8s. Now I reached in for some 9s. A lot of dark on this area, huh? Oh, that was the end of it. Okay. I guess it was just the dark blues. So this will be the 3rd. Which this one's going to have even less now. It's going to have... we're starting to get to the taper off point. I don't think we'll see Australia on this square, but the next square should have it. We may get to the top of Australia. Yeah, my dog's still chilling. All right, so this one was a lot of island. So like there's a lot of dark blue on this one. And I remember specifically this is where I started realizing I'm probably going to run out of dark blue. But I didn't. I actually had plenty left over. Especially cuz like I stopped using it a lot in some of the last, like the last 5 had very little because there's no land. It's a lot of ocean. But like I said, when we get to the last 5, there's 2 tiles that are back-to-back water tiles that had weird designs in them that I'll kind of try and point out. So there's a lot of the darker blue, not the like navy that we do around land masses, but the just the darker blue for the ocean on this one. There I just did the fives, now I'm moving on to the sixes. I know there'd be several times where I would grab a bunch of a color and be like, I still got like 10 more of these to place. And I had like two. And I would just be like, oh, I gotta put all these back. But you can already see the light greens are starting to look pretty sparse. Here's the sevens. Once we get to like the sixes and the sevens, that's when I noticed like, oh, I'm almost done with this square. Alright, so there's another one done. This will be now the fourth of this row. So I believe we are now sitting at, we only have 7 left to complete, including the one we're working on now. So here's where we're seeing most of Australia. So here I'm about to insult any of my friends and fans who live in Australia. But speaking of Australia, Outback Steakhouse has like the best bread. Like just the appetizer bread that they give you. That's like a pumpernickel. It's so good. I could just eat that bread. I could just go there and be like, I will have 1 glass of water and as much bread. All of the bread, please. And they will be like, okay, here's a knife and some butter, and I'll be like, oh, thank you. Just bread. Eat the loaf whole. I love it. I love bread so much. I don't care that I'll get fat. If it's from bread, I'm okay with it. So this one was a fairly easy square. It had a lot of blue and dark blue, the 3 and 4s, which left like nothing for other colors. So like you can see here, we at the 6s, but the 6s were very few and far between. Already moved on to the 7s. We're already on to the 8s now. Alright, so there, that finishes up that one. So this will be the last one. Oh, yeah, the last one for this, which means we are 6 away now. 5 in the one we're working on. 6 away. Once again, just kind of building the outline of Antarctica, which is super basic and simple. I'm getting some Tall Tall Mountains from Link's Awakening feelings from this one. Alright, so we've been at it for 2 hours and 11 minutes. Or 2 hours 12 minutes now. And we're getting close to the last 5. So here we've moved on to the 3s. I want to say there's a lot of 3s and 4s on this one as well. But the coastline has a lot of orange on it. So here now I'm on the 4s already. So to give everyone an idea of what's going on right now, like not in the video here, but what's going on in the real world, in current today stuff, this weekend, this is now Monday, but this weekend was E3, the beginning of it. So a lot of new video games getting announced. I say that. I feel like it's not even a lot of new video games. It's a lot of video games we've known about are getting release dates. But Nintendo's E3 announcement, which I'm really excited for, has not happened yet. So far, the only things that I've seen that I'm even kind of remotely interested in, there's been some Final Fantasy stuff. There's a weird Final Fantasy Origins game that's got a demo out now if you want a PS5, if you can find a PS5. But it's like it's made by Team Ninja, the people that made the 3D Ninja Gaiden games. And it's just a hack and slash in the Final Fantasy 1 world. Alright, so there we go. This is the last of these plates. So now I will connect them all, and I'll do my little, here we go, pan through. Australia, Japan, Russia, and on we go. And so now we're starting the last 5. But yeah, so E3's been going on, and they announced a new Mario and Rabbids, which is like a real-time strategy RPG, which is it looks cool. I say it's not real-time strategy, it's just a strategy RPG. It's kind of like XCOM, but Mario. which is weird because Mario has guns now. Like it's like, oh yeah, we'll give Mario a gun, and Princess Peach can have a gun, and we'll give Luigi a gun. And then there's the Rabbids from like the Rayman series. I think like they appeared in one of the Rayman games, but it was like they're kind of like the Minions. I feel like Minions were from Despicable Me, but then they kind of turned into their own thing. The Rabbids were from Rayman, but then they kind of turned into their own thing. And that's a game I'm kind of looking forward to. They're doing pixel remasters of Final Fantasies 1 through 6, which I'm super excited for. Unfortunately, they were only announced to be coming for mobile and Steam, which sucks. I want them on the Nintendo Switch. Capcom had theirs today, and they basically said, hey, you guys remember that this game's coming out in like a month? It's great. I mean, one of those games was the Ace Attorney Chronicles, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which I'm so excited for. I'm a huge Ace Attorney fan. Those games are amazing. I will probably play those on stream. I love them so much that I can't imagine not playing them on stream. I need to finish Bravely Default 2 before I start those up, though, and I want to try and have those finished by the time Skyward Sword HD comes out, because I definitely want to play that. I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan. Which means I also want to do a stream or two playing Link's Awakening for the Switch, because I love that game. It's so beautiful. So, I've got some plans. I got a lot of streaming I want to do. I just need to sit down and do it. Alright, so we're getting close to the end of this first tile here. I'm already on the 7s. Oh, there's a lot of 7s on this one. Alright, so now we've moved on to the 8s. So the next tile, I believe, will have the first of those interesting designs I was talking about. Which, again, I'm real excited to see, because I noticed it as I was building it. And I want to see how it looks sped up. Alright, so here were the 9s, and I believe I grabbed some 10s as well to put in. Oh, nope, there's a 10. Okay, so that's the first one done. So now we move on to the next one. I started having issues around this point with the instruction manual was now more top-heavy than bottom-heavy, just because I'd flipped through so many pages that it kept starting to slip. Like, I think I grabbed it, I had to grab it right there, just because it started to slip out of my lap. And I was trying to find a good way to, like, balance it. See there, I just had to readjust it as well, because I just couldn't find a good way to balance it out. So here I didn't really know, like, there was so little things here, I didn't really know what to start with. I ended up starting with the 4s. I did, I think, all of the 1s and the 2s. Then I put in the 9s, and I went to 4. I was kind of all over the place. So this should be the one, like I said, where we first see the odd design, and I'll point it out. least I thought it was this one. Um, I want to say it's with the like the fives, the dark green pieces that it really shows. Oh no no. Okay, it is on this one. So you can kind of see it in the dark blues. There's like a long line um of like nothing, which there's two right now, but we'll get to it in a second. I think I start filling in with the light blues, and it'll really become evident here. So yeah, the area that my hand is currently covering, as I'm putting down pieces, there's just that large kind of open area that gets filled in with greens that makes like a weird, almost like a plus sign. Not a plus sign, but like here I'm filling in with greens now. But it makes like a cross, but then it's got legs coming out the bottom too. Oh, it sounds like sleepy time for chat with this song. Which I want to say I got one of the pieces wrong in that. I may have already popped it off. I looked away for a second. But I know that I did mess up something and I had to pop one off. But it looks like I'm just about done with this one. Yep, there we go. So you can kind of see I didn't stay on that image too long. But that image was there. It just kind of had like a, it almost, like I said, it looked like a Japanese character, like a letter. So this is the, like, very right above Australia. 3 plates remaining. We're almost done. At 2 hours and 23 minutes in. So here I was doing all of the, like, I did all the ones, which there were only like 3. I did all the twos, which there were only like 3. There's like maybe 5. And then I immediately went to the threes, which I just finished. So now I'm moving on to the fours. Which again, this one kind of felt like it had like another weird, like a Japanese character symbol in the water. Which again, we'll see when we get to the fives. It would be directly under. And like that was the thing that really tipped me off is I noticed the first one, but I didn't think much of it. And it wasn't until I saw the second one, I don't even think I realized it was something. It wasn't until I connected them that I was like, oh, oh, there goes my puppy. Hey, puppy. Hi. Okay. She looked at me and was just like, I just want to lay down. I have stairs going up to my bed because I have 2 dogs. One is a puppy. I call her Puppy. That's not her name. Her name is what is your name? Why can't I think of your name right now? I know you. Come here. You're not in trouble. Come here. Yeah. Her name is Maggie. I actually wasn't able to look at her collar to find it either. I just remembered as I was petting her. Um. Oh, hey, Mo. You caught the tail end of me building this massive Lego set. This is the third to last square. Yeah, no, I don't know why. So I don't ever call her by her name. I call her Puppy. Because I have two dogs, which the other dog is deaf, so it doesn't matter what we call her because she can't respond to it. So we call that one Deaf Dog, White Dog, whatever. And then the puppy I just call Puppy because she's the puppy. She's pouting now. She knows that I didn't remember her name and she's gonna go pout, give me sad eyes. Alright, so getting close to finishing this up, then we've only got 2 more tiles left. Alright, so that one's done. Which again, the character was there. It's if you know what to look for, you're looking at it, it's like it's very blatantly there. But it was definitely bizarre seeing it once I put it together, because they do line up like perfectly on top of each other. So this is the edge of Australia here. The edge of Australia and some islands. Alright, so now we start going into the threes. See, like now you can see I kind of tilted the container with the fours, the dark blues, uh, to show that there's just really wasn't much left of those. The light greens, the sixes, are also looking pretty sparse. And here I'm using some more. Alright, so I think that was it for the fours. So now, yeah, I've moved on to the fives, which there were, like, none. Then I go on to the sixes. Alright, so now we're on to the sevens. We're almost on to the last tile now. This is the eights. the 9s, and a few 10s. There we go. Tile 39 of 40. So now we're on tile 40. So here will be the last of the white pieces I ever had to place. I remember being so happy to be done with these. By this point, my fingertips were aching. And, like, again, just watching it, it's still, like, I could still feel it in my fingertips. Just tenderness. I was so happy to be done with it. Alright, so now I'm doing the last of the dark blues, the 2s. And then we start with the light blues. There was just so much to this. It was exhausting. Mo, I don't think you were here earlier, but I showed off that I've also built a Nintendo Entertainment System out of Legos. Like, it's all Lego. And, I mean, it even, like, opens up. It's got a game in it, Super Mario Brothers. And as, like, a neat little surprise thing, this section pops off, and it's the first underworld level from Mario Brothers, so the second level of the game. That's one of actually my favorite Lego sets I've ever built. For the world map, it took about 14 hours, give or take. I did a 2.5-hour stream for the first 5 plates and decided I'm not doing 7 more 2.5-hour streams for this. So I just recorded the entirety of me building it and then sped it up 4 times. And that's what we've been watching for this stream, is this sped up version of me assembling all the other 35 plates, of which this is the last one. And then after this is done, I'm going to connect these 5 plates, I show them off, and then you'll see a picture of the finished one with a frame that it included with it. That this is designed to be hung on a wall. 40 tiles total. Yeah, it's weird. I've been seeing that a lot of people haven't been getting notifications for me. Also, though, to be fair, I did kind of miss streaming for a month because I was sick. I got some bad sinus drainage that turned into a sinus infection. Then I got a stomach bug, and then I got tonsillitis. Just back to back for like a month. Alright, so there's the final one. And now I'm going to connect all these together. I show them all off. So here's going to come the pan. And there's the final image. Which, I guess, let me hide that. And real quick, I will hide my webcam. So you guys can get a good view of the final world map. And you can see on there, I have little red markers for myself, I've got one for the rough whereabouts of Georgia. I've got one in Hawaii because I've got some family in Hawaii. And I've got one in Finland currently because my foreign exchange student uh, just recently returned back home to Finland. But yeah, 13 and a half to 14 hours. And it was absolutely worth it. I am just thoroughly impressed by how wonderful this turned out. Um, I really enjoyed it. I hope to do more big things like that. I would love to put more Lego builds onto my stream. But yeah. So that's gonna be it pretty much for the stream. Go ahead and turn my webcam back on. I'm gonna go ahead and end this recording for YouTube. So for the people on YouTube that are watching this, I'm sorry, this is probably not the best video to watch on YouTube. Ugh. I mean, you could speed through it, just get straight to the end. You can go back and see the cool other Lego sets that I built and show. Um, but thanks for watching YouTube. Come out and catch my streams live sometime. The link to my Twitch is down in the description. And for the people on Twitch, if you want to get to my YouTube, that is also down in the description on my Twitch. Uh, I will be heading out here, so I'll go ahead and end this video for YouTube. So, bye YouTube. Hope to see you guys in the next time.